last week. You called out North Carolina's defense, and the Tar Heels, they were watching.
It's crazy, JB. Think about this. We're doing a Monday microscope when we're talking about North Carolina being more committed defensively. Well, Marcus Page, all of a sudden, he takes it to heart. Roy Williams, I'm going to send you a consulting fee because the next game they play Pitt, and they absolutely sit in a stance, defend, and take Pitt out of their offense. So anything we can do to help the Tar Heels.
Yeah, absolutely. It's cool that he was watching and they did take it to heart. As you take a look at those improvements, what exactly did you see?
When I look at North Carolina, they could be an elite team. To me, the most talented team in the country, but they got to be committed defensively. And being committed defensively, out of timeouts and free throw situations, they like to scramble. Watch right here. Terrific job of when you scramble, you got 2 on the ball, 2 interceptors. They're active, they're alert, they rotate up into the passing lanes, and what do? They create offense out of their defense. That's really good. And right here, just good, solid half-court defense, defending the ball, early help. High hands, keeping the ball in front, contesting the shot. Those are the things they're going to have to do against Duke to be successful. Remember, they must run Duke off the three-point line. The difference in made and missed three-pointers will be a difference. Duke makes threes. Carolina has struggled making threes, so that'll be an interesting stat. It's going to be a terrific basketball game. It is the greatest rivalry in college basketball that's not played at the Palestra. Oh, wait a second. They don't play at the Palestra anymore. That's Kevin Naganda. He's got his game. Temple,
which
Villanova.
He was shamelessly plugging tomorrow.
7 o'clock.
Yes.
ESPN2, Kevin Naganda, Temple, Villanova, the Big Five is big.
Upset.
Duke, Carolina. Wait a second. It's a Big Five game, Kevin Naganda. There's no such thing as an upset in the Big Five. It's the Big Five. It's the Palestra. It's Litwack. It's Cheney. It's Dunphy. It's Massimino. No upsets there.
Come on, baby! 122 on blue, 122. There's 7. That's good boy.
Well, I was already excited earlier today because I knew Mark Titus was going to be on. Then I got even more excited because I saw on Twitter he had a special T-shirt planned for us, and now I see it. And we're clearly starting with Carolina Duke because look at that gem there. Tell us what we've got.
I mean, if you don't get excited for Rivalry Week, for seeing Greg Paulus and Tyler Hansbrough playing patty cakes, then you need to see some sort of therapist, I think. I mean, if this doesn't just get you jacked up for the hatred that is Duke versus Carolina, then there's something wrong with you.
Now, see, here was my question to you, because I grew up in the ACC, and Duke Carolina over the years evolved into what it became to us, and I say us being ACC folks. You're a Midwest guy.
Now, Christian,
obviously, the shirt is a joke, but what did that game represent to you as a basketball fan?
That game was no joke. So I grew up in Indiana. Obviously, I was an IU fan growing up, but I was born in '87, so the impressionable years for me were kind of Knight's tail end of his career, where IU had some good teams, but they weren't, vintage Bob Knight teams. So I always liked Indiana, but the reason I became a huge college basketball fan, and I really sunk my teeth into it, was Duke Carolina, specifically 1998. I don't know why that year sticks out the most for me. I think it's because of Jordan's last year, Bonds versus Sosa, but then also that whole year as a sports thing was 1998 was awesome because Carolina Duke, 2 top 5 teams the entire season. I think I would have been 11 years old back then. I was like the perfect age for it.
That is family.
At my elementary school, if you came to school and you didn't have a strong opinion on Ed Cota versus William Avery, and you tried to sit at my lunch table, I told you to get the hell out of here and go sit somewhere else. I mean, this is all my friends were like IU and Purdue, and we loved IU and Purdue, but Carolina Duke was the thing, even in Indiana back then. So I love the rivalry. I get excited. It's must-watch TV for me. I don't want to put down Kentucky-Louisville because they certainly had a great rivalry going, but I thought that was kind of a slap in the face of Carolina Duke a couple years ago when Kentucky-Louisville fans were trying to argue that they had the best rivalry. It's not even close for me. It's Carolina Duke.
Getting lucrative offers
and now here you sit with a T-shirt of Hansbrough and Paulus playing patty cake.
And refusing
we'll try to pivot from that, and I'm going to ask you a question based on a guy we had on the show earlier, Denzel Valentine from Michigan State. and Buddy Hield, the guy from Oklahoma we had on several
it.
weeks ago. If you're to project to the NBA and
But
you
then
could
I got a
have
little
either
concerned
guy sort of a
about
stock
the
in either
commitment
one, who
that
would you
Christian
take?
Cage was about to make.
That's
I
tough.
heard earlier in the week
I'll go with Hield. I
attorney
mean,
refused
Denzel Valentine's my favorite
negotiations
player to
with
watch
TNA.
in the country right now. He's
then
amazing. He does everything great.
In a
I just
few
feel like
weeks when your
Hield
contract
does
expires,
one specific.
you are
He's
gonna
elite,
jump
just
ship to the
unbelievable.
WWE.
He's got a niche. Like he can shoot. He can create his own shot. Denzel is really good. Maybe he's even great
And
at a
you
lot of things,
quoted
but like there's not one thing that
that
you say
you
this
were
is what he
tired
does.
of
There is no
being
wrong
the
answer.
big
I feel like
fish in the
Buddy,
company.
maybe it's just because the Warriors are so good and they're just
What do you think
killing
about that,
everyone,
guys?
hitting threes
Deb,
and
Scott,
all that kind of stuff.
Bush,
So I'm getting
what do you
excited
think?
watching Buddy Hield, imagining
You
he's like the
guys
next
have
Steph Curry or
that
something.
WWE
But
lucrative offer,
Denzel's
right?
my favorite player in college,
But
but I
you're
guess if
still
I
here
had to
at
pick one,
TNA.
I would pick Buddy Hield by just a little bit.
What
But that's a tough question.
you say makes
Christian,
sense. I understand that.
Yeah.
And again, that's
We've all
another
had that
reasonable point.
offer.
Being made by a man wearing
when
a
it comes
T-shirt, he
down
made it,
to
I
it,
think, at home today with an iron.
You're here in the ring for a
last
certain
thought.
reason.
A Big Ten team that you
It
can
came
just
to me.
one. You get one Big Ten
This isn't a
team for the
welcoming
NCAA
party.
tournament. Who is it?
This is
It's
a
obviously
going away
Michigan State.
party.
Did you? By the
And
way,
if
did you
you
ask
think
Denzel
those young
Valentine
punks in
about
the back are
the
gonna help
conspiracy
you,
theory
you're
around him,
wrong.
right?
Which is?
Because
I did
once
not.
you abandoned us,
He wasn't actually hurt. His
You
knee, the
abandoned
knee injury he
them.
had where he was out for 4 games.
Uh-huh.
so I
That was all
hope
made
your
up.
trip up north
So
is
here,
well
I'm gonna
worth the
indulge me
ass
for a
kicking
second.
you're
I
going
will.
to get tonight.
Tom Izzo knew that Michigan State
So you're
was peaking
tired
too
of being
soon.
a
It's
big
December,
fish?
they're 13-0, best start.
Tonight, you
He's
sleep
looking
with
around
the
like, what is
fishes.
happening? We're gonna hit our
The
peak
main
in
event
January, and then we're
Mafia
gonna
style.
fall. So he's like, hey Denzel, come here. I've won 400 Big Tens. I'm tripping over Big Ten championships when I wake up in the morning. I don't want a Big Ten championship. I want another national title. I only have one of those. So here's what I need you to do. We're gonna pretend like you have knee cartilage. What even was that? Like you had,
Who knows? It was a made up meniscus for all we know.
who had surgery in his back in like 2 weeks? If you have surgery, you're out for a while, right? Like I'm not a doctor, but come on. So. And by the way, he wears leggings, so like he's covering his knees. So if he has scars, he doesn't have scars, and we're never gonna have to see his knees to know whether he has scars.
Everyone wears those pajamas now, Titus. Everyone.
Right. So it works. And the other thing, Tom Izzo is the most beloved coach in the country. No one's gonna assume that he would be malicious enough to pull something like this. So I'm gonna end it with this. Prove me wrong. Why is the burden of proof on me? Why do I have to prove that this is true? Why can't someone prove me wrong?
No one. No, I mean, who would doubt the guy with the homemade T-shirt and the Abe Lincoln dude? No one. Not one person.
But
go ahead.
No, in all seriousness, Michigan State's the answer, right? Like, I mean, I know you want me to say Maryland.
No, I don't. No. Listen, this is a matter of trust, and where Villanova, there are reasons to doubt because they haven't earned trust. Michigan State more than anybody else, Izzo more than anybody else. Yes, they're the right answer.
Here's a serious nugget for you, though. Michigan State, there's only one team that has beaten Michigan State by more than 1 point this year. It was Iowa. They lost twice. They smacked them twice. So I guess if Michigan State runs into Iowa in the tournament, I'm a little worried. But they've lost 5 games, but 3 of those losses were by 1 point. So I really do think Michigan State's great, and they're the obvious pick.
Will you wear a tuxedo when you come here for the tournament?
I'll work on it.
Okay. Get it. I'll pay for it. You just get it. It can be a Dumb and Dumber tux. I don't care what it is. I just want you to wear a tuxedo. That's all I ask.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll see you in March.
All right, man.
The main event Mafia, how powerful they can be, but you see what they feel like. If you're not committed to the cause, then you're going down.
The total lack of commitment by Christian Cage to TNA, and as a result, he is left playing in the ring here in the Impact Zone, just totally laid out gone.
Kurt Angle just standing over the top of Christian Cage, who's barely moving, and here they are. They stand together and they hold the hands up.
There'll never be any question about their unity. There'll never be any question
By the way,
about
did you ask
the
Denzel Valentine
solidarity
about the
of the
conspiracy
main
theory
event
around him,
Mafia?
right?
Which is?
Christian
I did
Cage
not.
He wasn't
laid out.
actually hurt.
Ladies and
The knee
gentlemen,
injury he had
when
when he was
it
out for 4
comes
games?
to the main event
That was all made up.
Mafia,
That
it's
what
pretty
happened here.
obvious
I'm going to
that
indulge me
this
for a second.
is
I will.
their world.
Tom Izzo
And
knew
quite
that Michigan
honestly,
State was
we're
peaking too
playing
soon. It's
under
December, they're
their
13-0,
rules.
best start. He's looking around like, what is happening? We're going to hit our peak in January, and then we're gonna fall. So he's like, hey, Denzel, come here. I've won 400 Big Tens. I'm tripping over Big Ten championships when I wake up in the morning. I don't want a Big Ten championship. I want another national title. I only have one of those.